Gentleman yields. Mr. Davis, you are recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and let me thank all of our witnesses. You know, the 2021 child tax credit expansion almost halved child poverty in just 1 year. It pains me that the Republican-forced expiration of the 2021 child tax credit expansion doubled the child poverty rate in just 1 year. Yet here we are again, with Republicans advocating an average $78,000 tax cut for millionaires, while demanding that working families and seniors pay thousands more in tariffs and lost Medicaid, Medicare, food, student aid, housing, and Social Security benefits. The TCJA does nothing to help parents afford child care. In 2021, the Democrats' Family Care Credit Improvement took the benefit from $600 for one child to $4,000, and from about $1,200 for 2 or more children to $8,000. $8,000 is a lot better than $1,200. The TCGA does nothing to improve the Earned Income Tax Credit, to stop taxing low-income workers into poverty. In 2021, the Democrats nearly tripled the Earned Income Tax Credit and made critical expansions for younger workers, older workers, foster youth, and homeless youth. The TCGA fails to help these workers. The TCGA does nothing to increase housing insecurity. In fact, Mr. Duke mentioned that housing investment is lower today than below. Mr. Duke, as an economic expert, can you speak about how tax policies that support low-income individuals, parents, and workers strengthen families and boost our economy? For example, if we help parents without tax liability get up to $8,000 credit for their child care, like we did in 2021, or if we restored the 2021 Earned Income Tax Credit expansion, or if we created a new renter's tax credit, how would these benefits help not only these families, but the economy as well?
Absolutely. So we've got $4 trillion on the table, so that's like a lot to work with, right? And as I mentioned in my testimony, housing investment basically cratered after the law passed. And I suspect a lot of the reason why CBO found that growth went down after you extend the tax cuts is because housing investment gets hammered. It's a very interest rate sensitive sector. So I think a key thing is paying for whatever we're going to do to keep the deficit in check, which is going to keep housing investment going. On top of that, though, we do have room to make investments in families that directly benefit them. You mentioned a lot of them. I think the child tax credit was just an enormous success in 2021, increasing the size, making sure working class families get, the same tax credit that middle class families do. And again, I think this committee oversees the largest affordable housing program that we have, the low income housing tax credit. That's an example of I think a better priority than a lot of what's in that $4 trillion, especially that $2.5 trillion for households making over $400,000. So I think the investments you're talking about, the child tax credit, the earned income tax credit, making more support available to low-income renters make a lot of sense, while making sure that we have robust housing investment going by offsetting whatever extension happens by raising taxes on the wealthy and corporations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back.